Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the We Call Bank. Yes, it is recording podcast. This should be episode 14, 15, maybe 16. Who knows at this point? The topics that we're going to be rolling with is NFL awards predictions. We're going to give our opinions on who we think should win those NFL awards. Head coach hirings. Got a couple of those going around. And then Taylor Swift, we're going to be talking. No, I'm just kidding. We can talk about Taylor Swift if you want to get views. That's the way to get views, I think. But and then we're going to talk about the NBA All-Star starters. We're going to go through the list of the starters, give our opinion on it. Obviously, those are like I think it's 50% fan vote, and then it's like 50% coach and like other like NFL executives and stuff like that vote on that. And I think players vote as well. So we'll talk about that. Who we think's going to be on the bench? Trae Young did not get a starter. I'm a little beside myself. No, I'm just kidding. I think he should be in the All-Star game, but we'll talk about that when we get there. All right, so NFL awards predictions. MVP, we're going to start it off. A lot of people got Lamar Jackson. Early on, it was looking like C.J. Stroud was going to be in that conversation. He fell off a little bit. Played really good in the playoffs. Nothing against him. Definitely, I wouldn't say prove me wrong because I think I picked the Texans to win, but he played really well. That's all I'll say about that. We'll see how he does next year. Baker Mayfield also played very well. We'll see how he does next year. But it looks like the league or the fans think Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, Dak Prescott, and Brock Purdy are in the running for most valuable player. Out of those, I think I'm going to have to go with Lamar. Is that who we got for you?
It's not. I mean, I love Lamar. If it was my choice, it would be Tyreek. But hey, everybody has their different opinions about things like that.
If he kept up the pace, then yeah. But
yeah, I don't know, dog. Dog was just a dog all season. I mean, I think what was it? He got injured or something. I know he didn't play one game or two games or something like that. But yeah, I mean, regardless, bro was nasty. I mean, he deserves it. But if I can't go with him, I got Christian McCaffrey. And the reason I have Christian McCaffrey is, bro, he literally puts the team on his back when they need him. Now, necessarily, did he put him on his back last game? Absolutely not. Christian McCaffrey basically did nothing for the 49ers last game. So I don't know, what happened with him there, but they definitely needed him, and they'll definitely need him to really come back this next game. But I don't know. As far as a season, I'd have to go Christian McCaffrey. I mean, Lamar Jackson also deserves it. Josh Allen, I don't think deserves it, to be honest with you. I mean, he a dog. I know people have been speaking of, have you seen this Tyler Bass stuff? Like, everybody's like, oh, Tyler Bass so trash. Oh, he deserves the hate. Like for missing that.
I did see people talking about he was receiving death threats and all kinds of things. We'll talk about that at the end because
all right. And
I got some stuff to say about that then.
Brock Purdy, I don't. No, Dak, I would have, but he started pooping the bed. So I just have to go Christian McCaffrey. Lamar Jackson's obviously, I love Lamar Jackson, but Christian McCaffrey
I just think it's lined up for Lamar to win it. Although I do think if it's not Lamar, it could be Christian McCaffrey. But if I had to pick, I'm going Lamar. Second option, CMC. All right, Defensive Player of the Year, Deron Bland. Let's just skip that. Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, T.J. Watt. Now, obviously, Deron Bland stepped up with Diggs getting injured. But I don't know. The games that I watched, dude was kind of getting torched a little bit. Deron Bland obviously stepped up with Diggs out, played pretty well. But the games that I watched, I think I got to watch like one or two of them. Two, I think. Yeah, the playoff game and then the one before that. I don't think he looked as good. I can't remember who they were going against, but he was kind of getting toyed with. It seemed like they were kind of targeting him down the stretch of the game. And I don't know. I guess he had a lot of interceptions. Maybe that's why he's in this category. Don't know how many yards he gave up. But out of all these guys, man, I can't say I have a valid opinion because I probably watched maybe 2 Cowboys games. Maybe I definitely ain't watching a Raiders game. I'm going to keep it honest. All right, if there's any team on, I'm probably not watching a Raiders game. So, skip that. Myles Garrett, probably watched 1 or 2 of those games. And T.J. Watt. There was one year where I felt like T.J. Watt should have won it, and I'm pretty sure they gave it to Aaron Donald. So, I'm going to go that route here. I'm going with T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt. I mean, I think he leads the league in sacks right now. I'm not sure. I know he was on the verge of it, or he was. I know they said something about that. But bro is just a beast. Like, I think I've watched maybe like 4 Steelers games, and I mean, even if he wasn't doing anything, they talking about the kid.
Yeah, and then he tore his MCL or something? No, I think they thought he tore it, but then it ended up being not tearing it. I can't remember. He got injured in like the last game, I think.
I know Max Crosby.
He's a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog. I mean, as far as games I've watched of Max Crosby this year, I think I might have watched 2 or 3 of them. Not as many as I watched the Steelers because, like he said, the Raiders. I watched a lot of Browns games.
Like, if they had a good quarterback, maybe, but, like, when you're flipping through the games and you're like, dang, do I really want to watch the Raiders? Like, you just kind of don't.
So, yeah, I got to go with T.J. Watt, honestly. Me personally.
All right. Okay, so Offensive Player of the Year, Tyreek Hill on here, Lamar Jackson, CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Dak Prescott. Tyreek Hill is on this list, and I think with him not being in the MVP conversation, how good of a season he was having before he missed a couple games, I think it's got to go to Tyreek.
Yeah, I'm definitely choosing. If I can choose him for the MVP, which I understand it's going to be hard to choose him for the MVP with him being out, but if I can choose him for the MVP, I'm definitely choosing him for offense. Wait. Okay, yeah. Because there's another man that's not on here that deserves to be on here, and if he was on here, I definitely would have chosen him. But
who? He can be anybody not on here.
No. It's another.
But you can pick.
But he's on
you're
another
picking
list.
somebody though.
Oh, if I'm picking somebody? Oh, Offensive Player of the Year, C.J. Stroud.
All right.
That is C.J. Stroud. I mean,
I'll see y'all guys in the
there's
next
just no way.
podcast.
C.J. Stroud. I mean,
Just because you're a fanboying over C.J. Stroud doesn't mean he played better than the 5 guys on this list. Okay, let's keep
the
it
5
real.
guys. Let's keep it real.
Tyreek Hill, did he play better than Tyreek Hill?
Okay, number 1, we're putting Brock Purdy on this list. Okay,
we're talking about MVP.
I know, no, we're not talking about MVP, but I accidentally slid over to MVP. If we're gonna put him, Brock Purdy at MVP,
I think he deserves to be on that list.
All right. So
what's his touchdown to interception ratio?
Who?
Brock Purdy.
I don't know Brock Purdy's. I know C.J. Stroud. I think threw 5 interceptions all year long. You look up what's his name. I look up Stroud's stats.
Okay, so regular season he threw for 4,280 yards, 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That is a 3-to-1 ratio.
He threw 4,100 yards. Is that total yards or is that yards passing?
That should be passing yards.
Okay, 23 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Okay, so we got 8 more touchdowns and 6 more picks. So I think it levels out. Plus you have the wins. 49ers played better competition. And
bro, but the 49ers, bro, they have literally the second. I mean, you can throw them up there for first. Best, I wouldn't throw him up there for first right now. But
finish the sentence, homie.
Second best tight end in the game.
No. I don't want to hear that because people have been talking bad about Kittle all year.
Bro, but Kittle also don't get many, looks. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean, he got looks in the last game.
Yeah.
But he didn't get many looks. And so then you got Debo. I mean, bro, Debo is a beast in himself. And then you got Christian freaking
Okay,
McCaffrey.
but all right, here's the thing I'll say. Purdy has to play in a system that is primarily run heavy, primarily kind of like what's the word I look for? Tricky, I would say. So he's got all these expectations on him playing for the 49ers. They've been good all these years in a row. There's questions about him going through the end of last year. Obviously, they don't make it all the way to the Super Bowl. Quarterback situations, people getting hurt, blah, 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 blah. Comes in this year, has a really good team, has expectations, puts up these numbers against other good teams in a good conference. Then you have C.J. Stroud. No expectations coming in.
No, he's a rookie.
People think it's the worst team in the league. So he really doesn't have any pressure on him at all. He performs well. You know, they end up, 9-7 or maybe 10 and
every rookie has pressure.
9-8 or 10-7, whatever they finish to make the playoffs. So, yes, C.J. played good. He had a real stinker in one of those games, as did Brock Purdy. So I think Purdy deserves to be in the conversation just because the team in general played well. And we all know MVP comes down to your personal skill as well as your team's record for you to be in there, which is why Lamar's in there and other guys. So we know it's a competition of not only yourself, but the team. And those team wins, them finishing with 12, 13 wins, that's what really makes a difference. So I see why Brock Purdy's in there and CJ is not, but I wouldn't say CJ is far out of the conversation.
Well, anyways, my point for offensive player of the year. I mean, me personally, out of all that, I don't know. Me personally, bro took a team that was literally basically the worst team in the NFL and turned around and made it a playoff team and still had he had Tank Dell get injured. I mean, this kid I don't know. For me, he deserves everything. But offensive player of the year, who he deserve it over? I mean, here's the thing. Christian McCaffrey.
You taking him over Tyreek?
I mean, here's my thing though. Christian McCaffrey is put up for MVP and offensive player of the year. I mean, Jesus Christ, we can't say much about Brock Purdy if he has a kid on his offense for two of the best things you could get. So then, let's see. Lamar Jackson. Okay. CeeDee Lamb. Okay, that's where it is. CD did have a great season. Don't get me wrong. CD had a great season. But bro, CJ Stroud, you know what I'm saying? Like CJ Stroud, like, are we really just gonna give him a rookie award this year? Because I mean,
yes.
y'all don't want to. Y'all don't even want to, bro. I don't want to hear nothing about Puka, bro. I swear. All right, Lamar, Tyreek deserves offensive player of the year, but if I could put somebody up there, it'd be CJ. That's how I feel about it. But if we scroll over here and I hear one word about Puka, bro, I don't know if I can handle it because he's nasty.
So who's your offensive player of the year? Who are you
CJ
picking
Stroud.
out of that?
It ain't even a look.
Okay, out of that list though.
Tyreek. Yeah, Tyreek.
Okay.
Tyreek.
So he's gonna pick Tyreek. I'm also gonna pick Tyreek. I don't see CJ Stroud being over Tyreek for this award. I don't see him being over Lamar for this award. I don't see him being over Chris McCaffrey for this award. I don't see him being over Dak Prescott for this award. Now, CeeDee Lamb had a really good regular season, but then they started folding, just like the Eagles. And he was getting locked up a little bit down the stretch. I'm pretty sure the last 2-3 weeks of the season, he was not, performing at that high level like he was. And they started losing games. So, like I said, I like Tyreek Hill for this. Moving on, Offensive Player of the Year, I think it's got to be C.J. Stroud.
Rookie?
That's what I meant. Offensive Rookie. Did I not say Offensive Rookie of the Year?
You said player.
Oh.
It don't matter.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, my bad.
Yeah, it don't matter.
C.J. Stroud. Obviously, you got Bijan on here, Puka, Laporta, Gibbs. Gibbs and Robinson both had some splash games. I think Gibbs had a better season than Robinson. I'm not sure what the yardage look like, but I feel like Gibbs, to me, off the clips I've seen, had a better season than Robinson. But Robinson had a lot of runs that he had a potential to take it all the way and just didn't get that one last block or that one last broken tackle or whatever the case may be. So look out for him next year. Puka also had a very good season. Looked good. Had a couple injuries, held him out of a couple games, or he could really be in this conversation. Matthew Stafford missed 2 games with a hand injury or something, so that also plays a factor in him not getting some yards. So all in all, out of all the rookie receivers, obviously he's the best one, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I think I wouldn't mind if anybody likes him enough to put him on that list. You know what I mean? But I like C.J. Stroud. I like C.J. Stroud for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Look, all right. Here my thing is. All right. Jameer, all right?
Yeah.
I feel like, kind of like you said, it kind of reminded me of Bijan, but at the same time, I feel like he got way more touches than Bijan did. Now, at the start of the season, they weren't.
You can keep talking. I'm going to fact check that because I don't think he did, actually. But I could be wrong.
At the start of the season, it looked like they weren't really using Jameer as much, and then it looked like they started using him a little bit more from what I've seen, personally, Sam Laporta, he played great as a rookie. Bro went crazy as a rookie.
Did.
I thought you were talking about the fact. But
Robinson had about 25 more carries.
He had 25 more carries? Oh, okay. Well,
so Robinson had 976 yards, 4 touchdowns, and Gibbs had 945, 10 touchdowns. So a good bit more touchdowns, 6 more touchdowns, but the yards were fairly similar. But the Lions' offense was obviously better, so he's going to get more chances, to get in the end zone.
As far as Sam, like I was saying, nasty tight end, especially for a rookie. Nobody saw that really exploding like it did, and he did. Puka, I mean, bro was nasty. I know I said what I just said about Puka, but bro was nasty. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe, and I do have some bias because, I have people on my fantasy team. So whenever I have people like Cooper Kupp on my fantasy team, I traded later in the year when Cooper came back, and I'm thinking, I'm not thinking Cooper's just going to take over and Puka's not going to get any touches or any catches. I'm thinking like, Puka's probably going to be wide receiver 1, but Cooper is still a dog. Like, I mean, yeah, he missed some time. He's still a dog. He's still going to get some catches. And bro literally was just not targeted 90% of the time. It was just Puka. So it kind of got on my nerves a little bit. So maybe that's why I'm really not even want to hear nothing about him. I mean, he had a nasty season. One of the best rookie wide receivers I've seen in a long time. Bijan, hey man, I'm not gonna cap. I had some real hate for Bijan. I was never going to say it, but I really did have some real hate for Bijan.
For what?
Bro, I was just tired of hearing about this kid, about how good he was going to be. I was tired of hearing, like, when the draft boards came up, people were like, okay, yeah, take him in the first round. And I was like, bro, what are we talking about? Like, Atlanta has 2 other good running backs right now, and then they're going to add Bijan on top of that. And then you expect Atlanta to do crazy, crazy well on top of that? Like, bro, forget that. I don't want to hear about Bijan, bro. He's not crazy. And bro, prove me wrong, bro. There was some explosive plays.
I mean, he didn't go crazy, but he played good.
Well, it ain't the fact that he went crazy statistical wise. It's the fact that he just had some explosive plays that I was like I remember.
Well, actually, that's probably what I looked at was probably just their rushing yards too. So that's not even counting Gibbs. Both of them are receiving backs too.
Yeah.
So,
well, I remember this one play, bro. I mean, there was a couple plays I remember. But I remember this one play. Dude, Desmond Ridder seriously threw this ball behind Bijan. Bijan turned around. It was on the left sideline. Turned around, caught it with one hand, and still kept running. I was like, okay, yeah, nah, that's nasty. But C.J. Stroud, bro, I'm just saying. Like, he has a case for any award, like, genuinely, except for Comeback Player of the Year. I mean, think about it, bro. Dude literally took a team that was literally one of the worst teams, and I understand he had Will Anderson also drafted with him, so y'all could say, oh, blah, blah. Will Anderson did not go that crazy, and we'll talk about that in Defensive Rookie of the Year. He did all right for a rookie, but he did not go as crazy as, like, people are saying he did for the team. And so C.J. Stroud, I mean, dog literally took, like I said, Tank Dell took out of the offense.
Yep.
Then you have Nico missing games also. And then on top of missing games, also literally just not catching balls on some of the games that he's in. And then it was like 50-50. I mean, Schultz ended up going crazy for him, like 60% of the games. But, like, I don't know, bro. CJ he did whatever he could do for that team. And I feel like he played his heart out. And I don't know. I really like CJ, bro. I really like him. I feel like he deserves it even without the bias. But we'll go on to the next one because I spit a little bit. No, I didn't spit, but like I just talked too much.
Let me see what the time. 32. So we about 20 minutes. All right. So Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Now I watched 2 Texans games because I watched a little bit of the playoff game, and Will Anderson is probably obviously their best pass rusher, but he didn't really jump off my screen yet as far as being like so dominant. Teams are really like you got to double team him every time. You got to really worry about him. So I didn't really feel like it was, that level of dominance, which he can get there. He's got the tools to get there. But if I'm picking a Defensive Rookie of the Year, I think I'm going with Witherspoon because I remember watching the Steelers game, and Joey Porter was kind of getting torched a little bit of those games. Obviously, he's one of those players that can make big plays too. But I feel like, let's be real, every corner is torchable. I mean, think about it. You're at the will of the offensive player. Like, if I got to play any position in football, I'm probably not wanting to play cornerback. Like, let's be real.
Oh, yeah,
like, you're out there in space by yourself. This receiver can do whatever he wants to do. He can stop. He can keep going. He can cut left. He can cut right. Like, you got all this room to work with, which I think Porter's more of a boundary corner, so you got a little bit more room. You're not really a slot corner receiver. I mean, slot corner where you got to worry about him going either way. But I watched, a couple clips of Witherspoon. I watched a couple Seahawks games, so I think I'm going to go with Witherspoon.
Me personally, like I said, I didn't mean any disrespect about Will Anderson. I mean, he's a great player. I'm just saying, like, people were, like, coming out here out the gate saying this man's going to be, the next, what's dude's name that had a crazy season for the Eagles last year. He was a rookie. He came from Georgia. There's Jalen Carter, and then there's another one.
Jalen Carter. Are you talking about Jordan Davis?
Yes. And, like, bro, I don't know.
I don't think Jordan Davis had a crazy season that year.
He had a good season.
I'm not saying he didn't have a good season, but I don't think he had a crazy season.
I'm not saying bro had 99 tackles.
Yeah.
But, like, he had a good season for a rookie. But,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like a defensive end and Anderson's a big defensive end, but those guys are going to have more stats than the corners and the safeties. So, or not really safeties. Safeties should have a good amount of tackles, but
Oh yeah,
it's
they'll
going to be
have way
harder
more
for a
tackles.
corner to win a rookie award unless they just get a lot of interceptions like Gardner did. So,
That's actually why I chose this kid, Kobe Turner. All right.
Yep.
Because I ain't gonna cap.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't pick him because I don't know much about him.
Yeah, I ain't gonna cap. Like I said, now on almost all now I'm not the biggest stats person, but like on some of my arguments, I like to have some stats behind it. And so, what? I'm not the biggest.
Don't
stats
listen to the
person.
audience, bro. Keep going.
All right, so I'm not the biggest stats person. I mean, I pull up stats if I got to every now and then, but on this one, I kind of did have to. So for me personally, kind of like he said, the DBs are gonna have more. I don't pull stats every time, but so the DBs are gonna have the most tackles, and so for me, I couldn't go based off of tackles. I went based
Bro,
off.
did you see they wrote that Los Angeles Rams defensive tackler? I was like, wait, because I looked down, I was like, wait, what position is he? But yeah.
I couldn't go based off tackles because obviously when you're back there and you have, even if you have a running back like just running, 40 yards, they're going to have a better chance of tackling him than a D tackle will because he's already broke past them.
Yep.
But essentially, I could go based off tackles, so I went based off the stats of like, all right, how many interceptions did this kid have? How many interceptions did this kid have? And Witherspoon was going to be my first pick until I looked up Kobe's stats and compared to how many based off their snap percentage, how much time they played, Kobe had the best stats to me as far as like tackles and I think sacks. And I think he might have had
Tackles
like
for loss or something.
Yeah, I think he might have had like a forced fumble or two or something like that. I don't remember essentially what it was because it was like 2 days ago or something like that.
Yeah.
But based off of how much, because one of these people, I think it might have been Joey Porter, they played like 90% of the snaps.
Yeah, he might have been he might be their cornerback one right now. So.
Yeah, so even with that, he still had good stats. But like, bro, if Kobe's over here playing 50 to 60% of the snaps and still putting up numbers relatively close to what you could put from a D tackle to a cornerback, I don't know. Me, Kobe Turner. I don't know much about the kid, but as far as I see from statistical wise, Kobe Turner.
All right, moving on. Comeback player of the year. They got Joe Flacco, DeMar Hamlin, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, Tua. So it's like the league to go DeMar Hamlin. I mean, we see all the not commercials with him, but just all the publicity he gets, which I'm not saying it's not warranted. He had the cardiac arrest incident, got worked through that, and now he's back playing football. I think he actually got a live snap 2 games ago or something. I think he played his first game back, actually getting in the game. So it's a good thing. I think he started his own fund for something to do with maybe cardiac arrest victims. I don't want to say victims, but people that go through stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure he started some foundation like that. So that's good. But if I had to pick somebody here, I feel like it's got to be Baker Mayfield for me. Tua could be on there, but I don't really know why Tua's on there. I know he had the concussion stuff and everything, but if I'm thinking of comeback player of the year, I don't really feel like he played bad when he was in the games, Tua, last year. So I don't know if we're considering that comeback player of the year. If I had to pick, which I am a Baker bias, so I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield.
Here's my thing. Okay. My thing is, this is what I was telling my dad about it. All right, realistically, Joe Flacco needs to be off this list, okay?
Yep.
I mean, dude did, take the Browns to the playoffs. They went to the playoffs because of him. But at the same time, I just don't feel like he did enough compared to some of these people on here. So you got Joe Flacco, take him off. DeMar Hamlin. My problem with DeMar Hamlin, I don't have a problem with DeMar Hamlin. My problem with having him on here is, like I was saying to everybody else, my thing is I feel like comeback player of the year is kind of like, I feel like it should be based on the play that you had last year. You see what I'm saying? So if you're doing it based off of that, I understand injuries suck, but I don't feel like it should be, they got injured and they came back this year and now they went crazy again. Like Tua, they literally went undefeated until he got injured, I believe. I think they went undefeated. He got the concussion, and now he went crazy.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He went crazy again. Matthew Stafford, I'm not gonna cap. He was basically missing last year. Like, dude was just, I don't even know where dude was last year. He came back this year. He played good, even with Cooper out. I mean, I feel like he's up there for it. DeMar, like I was saying, injuries, and I understand, dying and then coming back and playing, that's insane. But, like,
when you put it like that.
yeah, that's insane. But just me personally, I don't know. Like, I'm going based off of how they played. And, bro, I know. Did you see everybody's flaming him for the fake punt thing?
Who, DeMar?
Yeah, like he.
I didn't see it.
Okay, so they in the last game they played against the Chiefs, they was like 4th and like 4 or something like that. These people went for a fake punt. I think it was in like the second or third quarter. I can't remember. I have horrible memory, but it was like second or third quarter. They went for a fake punt and they had him out there, and he ran for maybe like 1 yard and got tackled. And everybody's like, blah blah blah. Yeah, this is the person you want for comeback player of the year. And I'm like, bro, it was one play. But regardless, Baker Mayfield. We said at the beginning of the season we hoped he had a good season. We both like Baker. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. I just like his attitude. But, hey, he did his best against the Lions. And, I feel like he deserves it.
All right. So there's not really many head coaches we need to talk about. I think the only ones we really need to mention is Jim Harbaugh goes to the Chargers. I'm pretty sure – I don't know if you said that. I know you said Bill. That's where you thought Bill would go.
Yep.
But Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers makes sense. Thought he might go to us. Falcons signed Raheem Morris instead of Bill Belichick, which I think the problem with that is Bill wanted control over everything as far as the team goes, and the front office didn't want to do that. And then was there any other head coaches like big that we need to talk about? I know Panthers are signing the Bucs offensive coordinator. I think Panthers got their coach now. I can't remember who they're going. Or I think the Bucs switched coaches.
I think he said Chargers. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember.
But
what he said.
yeah, I already talked about Chargers. But other than that, I don't think there's many. I don't got much to talk about. Chargers, I feel like could be a good signing. We'll see how he coaches. Raheem Morris for the Falcons. I feel like I'm fine with that signing. There's some people that don't like it. I don't mind it. But moving on from that, we'll go over to the NBA. So we're going to talk about the NBA starters. Now, Dallas don't like no whips and chains, but he's going to put his loving on him, baby. All right, so Eastern Conference starters, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard. So I don't know how I feel about this because, to me, it's kind of positionless basketball now, so I get how, you got Damian and Tyrese on here, but to me, they're both point guards. So I feel like I don't know how to do it because both these players deserve to be starters, but at the same time, I kind of want to see an actual shooting guard be a starter. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but I think they've always kind of done it like two guards and then 3-4 or 2-4. No.
And then you got like
2 front backcourts and then 3 front.
Whoa. But like I don't know. I just feel like I want to see like 2. I don't want to see real shooting guards on there. But anyways, so we got Giannis, Joel, Tatum, Halliburton, and Lillard for Eastern Conference, and then Western Conference we got LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Jokic, Luka Doncic, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't have any problems with anybody on this list. Obviously, I'm a Trae Young fan, but I still think he's going to get in because he was second, I think, in guards for voting or something, along with Jalen Brunson. So I feel like both of those guys could get in. So I'm not too worried about it. But you got problems with anybody on this list?
I think
besides LeBron James.
I think Jalen definitely go get in. I think what's the name go get in? Trae, like you said. Obviously, there's somebody missing here that I was hoping was here.
I'm sure I think he'll get a bench spot.
I think he will get a bench spot, but here's what I did. I screwed myself. And I screwed Paul George. And Paul George fans, I'm sorry. And here's why. Because they didn't get to see. Oh, okay. So
they didn't get to see the last episode. He went on a whole rant. Unfortunately, Fortunately, y'all didn't get to see it.
No. It was probably like, I was spitting for like 40 minutes.
We went back to it 3 times, I think. So altogether, it might have been 20 minutes.
Bro, I was so upset. Okay, I won't. I'll just say it one time. All right, because they didn't get to see the last episode. basically what I said was Paul George gets too much hate and he does not get enough credit like Kawhi does. And why I said that is because at the time, okay, this was at the time. Now if you go check, it's not completely different. It's just Kawhi.
Paul George is over Kawhi?
Yeah, Kawhi is now like 0.3 over like Paul George in almost everything. But at the time, Paul George was over Kawhi, and at that time
then you'd be rechecking the stats like that? Boy, he's already. Next podcast coming up, 0.3 over. I don't want to talk about it this week.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I'm not a big stats guy, but I do look at stats every now and then. So I don't know. But realistically, here's the thing: at the time, Paul George, and he did have his 38-point game, had almost everything over Kawhi at that point, and he played 2 more games than Kawhi had played. So realistically, if we're talking about who's the best player on the Clippers at that time, it would have been Paul George. And at that time, they were giving Paul George the last second shot every single time. Now, I'm not going to – I didn't mean to say every single time, but every single time.
Every single time.
Yeah, I mean, bro was literally – I mean, I think he's had like 3 or 4 either game winners or close to game winners this season. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Me personally, at that time, I felt like he was an all-star. Look at this. Highest – look at that. Efficiency.
Yeah, I saw you post that.
With 0 to 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Who's number 2? Paul George with 60% on his field goal. Kawhi is under him. That means Paul George is more efficient. Okay? So, realistically, I think we need to stop with the hate on Paul George and give him his credit and, put him over Kawhi. Now, like I said, since I said that last week, he's been pooping the bed. I'm not going to cap. I think he's played 2 games, maybe 3. He's maybe played 3 games since, and I think the highest number of points he's scored since is 17. So it's been kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, who cares, bro? That was only 3 games, all right? Realistically, Paul George deserves it, and I've been seeing some things. Some people have been giving him his flowers. I don't care about the highlight reel. I don't want to. I don't care. I don't know if you've seen that video, but it's just a highlight video, and it's about how he's the smoothest player in the NBA. Bro's been in the league 2010 to 14 years, bro. I don't want. Everybody's supposed to know he's the smoothest player. Like, why are we just now talking about this just because a video came out? I don't want to hear it. But basically, I feel like he should be a reserve. Kawhi, I feel like he's still going to get it over him because his stats theoretically are now better, and everybody puts him over Paul George anyways. And I don't like Paul George's attitude about, I'm the second option. I deserve to be – shut up. No, you're the first option. You deserve to be the first option. Stay the first option because you are him, okay? You got just as good as defense as Kawhi. His wingspan ain't long. That's why. Kawhi has this 25-meter wingspan. And then on top of that, let's see, he's better at shooting. Finishing is hard. I would still give it to Paul George, bro, because he's nasty with his lays at the same time. Mid-range, everybody would have to give it to Kawhi, but at the same time, bro, if you watch Paul George, he can make some nasty middies. So I don't know. Me personally, I'm giving Paul George his flowers. I'm saying he deserves to be a reserve. I don't think it's going to happen, but hopefully it will. Hopefully Kawhi and Paul George could be in there. But yeah, as far as that's the only thing I'm concerned about. Paul George getting his. I know. Obviously I'm being biased. LaMelo can't because even though he's played good, he was out for a while, so he can't. Even though I know there's a lot of people that get in the past years all-star selections for playing like 9 games. So that's just a popularity.
I think that was 2 awards that they stopped that from happening. So,
but yeah, I don't know. Me personally, Paul George deserves his flowers. Put him in a reserve, and that's the end. That's the end of my thing. All-star. As far as the people selected on here, hey, I'm fine with these people. Okay, realistically, everyone deserves it. I'm glad SGA is. I think now he's starting to get a little bit too much hype. I know he was underrated he was severely underrated last year. I don't know, SGA, bro. I be seeing something about him every day now. Like it's like I don't know if you're better than Luka though. You know what I'm saying? Like Luka, bro. Skyhook 3 from the corner? Like, what are we talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Like Luka is just – he's something. I was about to say sexy, but I know
it's weird.
I don't mean it like that.
So, obviously, yeah, he thinks Kawhi should be in over Paul George. I don't got any problem with either one of them being in it. It's tough to leave either one of them out. So, that's just the price you pay, 2 forwards on the same team.
Did you say Kawhi over Paul George?
No, I said What?
You said he thinks Kawhi deserves to be in it.
Oh, did I say that?
Yeah.
I'm going. I'm off the.
Bro,
I'm off the rocker right now.
I was like, there's no
he wants
way.
Paul George to be in over Kawhi. But
Yeah.
it's hard for either one of them not to be in it. But they play the same position, so it's hard for them not to be in a battle for it every year.
It's 'cause
And
his son-
Kawhi has the chip, so that's just what's going to happen. If I had to, say any difference between them, I feel like Kawhi hunts the mid-range, takes the three when he needs to, and I think Paul George hunts the three, takes the mid-range when he needs to. I feel like that's the difference to me. And I think if I had to pick a defender, I would want Kawhi over Paul George, even though I don't think they're far apart defensively. But, Kawhi's just long arms, big hands. Like, he's known for getting those steals, so steals and blocks. So I'm going to have to go with Kawhi. I feel like Paul George is good at staying in front of a defender, but Kawhi is good at making those impact blocks, impact steals. That's how I feel about it. But other than that, they're both really good players. But if I had to pick, that's who I'm going with. But hey,
we're going to talk about Tyler Bass.
And we'll talk about Tyler Bass real quick. So obviously he misses the field goal to win the game. Kickers miss all the time. You can go a whole game. They get 3 opportunities to kick. But you're not yelling at your quarterback for having 50 chances to throw the ball and missing a receiver 5 times, are we? No. Actually, you might be arguing about that. And if you are, stop watching the game.
Oh, my turn? Okay, here's my problem. Here's my problem with Tyler. Not my bro, Tyler Bass is one of the best kickers in the league. Like, just
I agree.
Flat out. Like, he's one of the best kickers in the league. Like, literally, I didn't even have to know. I didn't even have to see it with my eyes. But I saw it with my eyes when it popped up. Okay. Well, I like having my partner. But there's literally a prompt that came up that said he was, like, 9 for 9 in, like, those situations. And then he missed that one. Let's be honest. It did look a little weird, but the wind blew it. Okay, I understand. You're like, oh, you got to adapt for it. You get paid millions. Shut up. Okay, shut up. Like, get on Pat McAfee's little freaking 30-yard kick and see what happens, all right? You're going to be just like the rest of them, having to freaking miss and be embarrassed, hitting people in the face with your football. So, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm very upset that people are literally sending death threats. Okay, number one, it's not serious enough to send a death threat, all right? Like, nothing is serious enough to say, hey, I'm going to kill you and your entire family. Like, shut up. Like, shut up, kid. Like, fight me. Like, bro, I'll tell you where this court is right now, and you can fight me, and I'll fight you for Tyler Bass, all right? Now, I might not be 6'6" and at 545 pounds of muscle, but I will defend Tyler Bass, bro, because he got so upset that he deleted his social media. Do you know what it takes to delete a social media? It takes a lot when you got that many followers. And so I don't know, bro. To sit here and be that dramatic over it, and when it's not even like you're not even on the team, you're not making money from this. And if you were, blame Josh Allen, bro. Like he said, he had plenty of opportunities to score. They got stops. He had plenty of opportunities to score. Why are we coming down the field and say, oh, we're just going to deal with a field goal? No. Hey, get Stephon. Get your big booty up there and catch a touchdown, all right, buddy? Get your big booty up there and catch a touchdown, all right? But I don't feel like it's Tyler Bass's fault at all. I feel like they need to stop with this hate. I feel like he's one of the best kickers in the league, and they're going to keep Tyler Bass. And why are they going to keep Tyler Bass? Guess what? The Packers, they're probably going to cut their kicker because Jesus lose. Or, I didn't even mean to say that, but they're going to cut their kicker because not only was he missing in the regular season, he missed it in the playoffs to lose them the game. And I saw something like, bro, there was like 4 games in the past like 2 weeks that lost because of field goals. But Tyler Bass does not. He's one of the best ones. That's how I feel about it. He deserves to win. He deserves all the money he gets. He deserves to get paid more than Josh Allen. Bro, at the end of the day, stop hating on the kid. He's one of the best kickers in the league. I'm tired of seeing it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to end it for the podcast. Tyler Bass, prayers out to you and your family because people are crazy. People are dumb out there. It's a game. You missed a kick. Everybody misses kicks. It happens. I mean, like I said, you got 3 chances in a game. Like, how are you going to get warm? It just happens. But we'll catch you guys in the next one.
You going to bottom?